This project was like my latest film, actually, 99 Francs, was a project coming from outside. You know, you're just like working on your own film, and a producer called you and said, you know, I have a script I wanted you to read. And she said to me, as important, said, okay, that's the project. And normally there was another director, that it was a project from William Friedkin. William Friedkin originally get the rights, ask the writer to make a script, find Claudio Sarra, ask Claudio Sarra to produce it. But it was very difficult that they couldn't, in the dates, you know, build up the project. So at one moment, William Friedkin walked out from the project because he was busy on other thing. And Claudia stayed with the project, so she got, you know, and the project was in English. The only condition I put on doing the film was to do it in French and Russian instead of English. The project is written in English, and I thought, I can't do Coco Chanel speaking English, I'm French, this is, you know, it's, you know, I understand from the American point of view, because in the American point of view, they've done that for like 50 years, so it's conventionally in their possibilities, you know, they can do films that takes place in China and they speak English. They can do, you have the peplum when the Romans come and they say this is Rome, you know, you know, in the 50s. So you have this culture, but you know, I can't. So I said, I need that the Russian between them speak Russian and the French speak French. And maybe between French and Russian, we can say English between Coco and Igor. But that would be better French. But if we do so, I will do the film. So the producers start to think about it, and then they say, okay, let's do it this way.
Qual era a mensagem que queria passar com o filme?
When you do a movie, let's say that the process is, in any case, you have a story you wanted to tell. But for me, for example, and I will explain more generally the process. For example, you get a script and you read it. It's a great script, very well done, interesting subject. Then you close it, you spend the night, you wake up on the morning, but then, okay, it's a great script, but it doesn't ring, doesn't do anything. So you put in, you call back and say, I'm not interested, but it's a great script. Then you receive a script which is unbalanced, which is bizarre, where some characters are not very good, and you read it and say, oof, it's a bit a mess, and I don't really understand it. There is something very exciting into it, but I don't know. You close it, you sleep, and on the morning you wake up, your mind is already making the scene, trying to find solutions. So you listen to this instinctive, creative process, and you say, well, I don't know why, but this film, you know, you get the train, or you know, you get on your moped, and suddenly you think about this project. So then you call and you say, I might be interested, let me think about it. Do you have another element about it, about this project? Like, can I meet the writer, or is it from a book? Can I read the book? That was the case for 99 Francs. You know, now I want to read the book. Then you read the book, and then you get, and then you call back, and one day, okay. And then when you have all those information, you say, why am I interested by this project? I don't know. I don't know really. But I am interested, and I know that the creative instinct process is something that it's more trustable than the mental analysis of a quality. Of, that would be great to do this film now for my career, or feeling this, or oh, that we love, you know, blah, 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 all that blah, blah. It's just this inspiration. Now, I don't want to put a message in it. I know I'm playing with this subject. But now let the subject play through the inspiration. And then I will look to the film in 10 years, and I will be able to answer clearly your question.
O facto de estar presa à realidade o ajuda ou dificulta o seu trabalho?
It's right that if you deal with people who had lived, you can't do anything you want. But what is interesting is that basically we're doing the private life of them. So you have information of the character, then you take, the goal is not to betray. But, nobody knows exactly how it's happened between Igor and Coco. So whether they made love on a piano or they made love on the carpet. So we don't know. Maybe they did it on the tree or in the car, So you have many ways you can do. The interesting thing is it's the characterization of the character. It's not you don't create them. You read about their biography, you feel how they are, you speak with the actor, you decide to make your version, but your version is not, the real person. There is not a lot of footage anyway on them. It's not the real person. The real person is a statement, it's a base where you're going to, make something that is a mixture between, that's match. It's like the real person is out of focus, okay? So when you pull focus, you move, you make your own frame. But this frame has to match with the out of focus frame. So in a certain way, let's say that for me, the idea was those characters had lived. Let's feel out who they were. From then, there is another thing important because they've lived, they've let their work, still here. And now with the time, the flavor we have of them is not who they are,
How do you personally see that gap of time where they connect?
I don't know if it's exactly the answer to the question, but I'd say what interests me in that is, first you have a classical cinematic plot, that you can make a line in, we call that in the periscope. Tu connais le periscope?
Oui, je peux te
Voilà, c'est quoi le periscope d'ici?
O roteiro do espetáculo do cinema.
One line always. So this line for this film is they don't, they can't meet. They're in two different worlds and two different universes, and then they meet. That's a universal story that make films. You can make always this line.
Boy meets girl.
Yeah, and those two persons should not meet. If you look to them separately, they don't belong. But passion is, there's no rules, no logic, and then they go. Of course, there is some links between the character, but let's say that what was important in what I depicted is a relation between, so it's a film with it's not a romantic story as you have seen. It's not very sweet and romantic because first, the very important thing, and I think that's make it more universal, or at least that connect to our lives more. What I wanted also to tell is like when you have this important figure, it's about also happiness and balance. You have those obsessed by work artists, but also an ego fight in a way, Because the character is very disturbing, I think. I mean, if you look ethically to her, she doesn't care about the wife almost at the beginning. She wants the guy, she will get it. They have many interpretations, but let's say that my interpretation in a way is she is very rude about herself, like she wanted a relation with a man on a certain level of equality and a certain level, and he doesn't go there, Igor, because I discovered that she was hard on people, but she was hard on herself too, having sort of goal very high about relation between people, about being a century ahead. If you go back to the 1920, and the statement of the woman at this time period, and the place they have in society, I think a woman like that frightened all men. I think it's something very interesting into cinema, to always invent it in the character history. And even if you don't reveal it in the film, it doesn't matter. If you decide that your main character is an orphan, and you decide that, and you decide not to reveal it, never, but you just speak about it with the actor, that will give an angle, and you will film in a special angle that nobody knows why, but you will give a different flavor of authenticity and our supposition, which is exactly what we live through, because we never know the life of the person we're speaking through.
My question is,
then how you rate your own work? What's your own opinion about your own work?
No, my own opinion is about my own work. Oh, that's a very personal question. No, I think I learn. I'm still learning. I make progresses into my films. There is some areas that I should work more, that I still have some vacuum. I think I'm very good in some of the things, so I should now try to use them, but not to develop too much, too easy, and to go to different areas. You have to learn, because it's a work where there is so many layers of art, artistical collaboration. And so you have to learn, and in order to learn, you have to travel in different genres as well, for me. You know, a very strong style, you know, from this one, let's say, to Doberman, this kind of cartoonish, extravagant, violent. This is not violent, but the other are violent and provocative. Basically, the more important moment was when I did feature documentaries. I learned so much about, you know, our reality, you don't touch anything, you just film. You know, you have no actors, no artwork, nothing. You just film. But then, you're a filmmaker, so you film, and then you edit, and then you discover that you can learn from that to do your fiction differently, to recreate reality. So this film come more from those two films before, to know the desire then to go, okay, now I'm going to make everything. We're going to make everything, because I'm not working alone. But then I will take my, you know, I will take it from there. So I didn't answer your question, but I answer it in a way that I'm still learning. You know, that I don't, you know, I just look to my film. When I've done, it's like I finished to eat. It was a great food, you know, and this film, you know, I don't think about it, you know, I just come and speak. And for me, it's far away. I'm already on another project. It's done. I don't look back too much. You know, it could be good or painful. You know, so just go on, make other films. This is part of the process of not being judged by others and not making film for the audience to be loved. Make the film for yourself, a bunch of friends, and hopefully others. Then, when the people come and say, yeah, I've done the worst film of all time, and saying, you don't take it, the shit. You look to your shoes and say, hey, like the Kounen brother, when hey, man, it's just your fucking opinion, you know. But you don't know it, yeah, you're bad. You know, it's just, okay, people likes, don't likes. And then you have your own road, you know. And sometimes if like 100% didn't understand something in your film, maybe you have missed something. Okay, next time you'll do better. Today I feel absolutely perfectly well into the French cinema, and I admire the film of my director that I like the work, which is Gaspard. But anyway, Gaspard Noé is very specific into the French cinema. It's the moon cinema. It's out of this galaxy, so it's not very French. But for example, Audiard film The Prophet, you know, Le Prophète, that was in Cannes, the Grand Prix, is a masterpiece of what contemporary French cinema could achieve for me. So, yeah, I feel right with the today French cinema because it's very eclectic. But I'm more Anglo-Saxon, you know, in the way that I occur that the visuals and the information from sound and image are at least as important. And the more you go without the verb, the best it is, you know, because it's a stronger cognitive way to give information. So I have good news for you. So the good news is you're allowed not to know everything when you make a film. You're allowed to say to everyone or anyone, I don't know, on the set. And that's a good director can say that. You're an orchestral chief. You know, you don't know how to play violin to be able to direct a violinist. So you say, I don't know, then you should be very cool, huh? If you say, I don't know like this, you're dead. You lose respect from your crew. It's finished. So you could say with a big smile, I don't know. What do you think? Also, the other thing which is very important is you can make mistakes. Of course, not too much. But you will make mistakes. So don't be too afraid of making mistakes. Because you will only learn the day you make mistakes. The important thing is you should not know everything, which brings you to a way of working. And I think we have the legendary things in the idea of the director. This is God who knows everything that we want to become. Some of you will be directors, so and it's very important for the other domains. You know, the person who are working with on a film, not to think that everything you should ask to the director. Of course not. So choose well the person who work with. Forget friendship on this. That's also that's sad, but always choose the right guy for the right job. The best would be, of course, to have both, but always think, is it the right person for the film? Because otherwise you will put him in difficulty. And rely on your crew. Then if you choose well your crew, and crew don't rely on the director. Director rely on the crew. That means, like always, you have an idea. I want this like this with the colognes and the red carpet. Okay, you have that idea. If you say that, the person will say, okay, I'm going to make the colognes and the red carpet. But if you don't say that, if you say, you know, I think something big. I think something, you know, you have your idea, your photo, you hide the photo, you put it there. And you see, you give only intention information. And then you open the other to think about it with his own knowledge of years of experiment that you don't have about art and wardrobe or everything. And then he will come back with an idea that you would not have if you would have said, I want this like this, you know. So then if he doesn't come with an idea you like, then you can always throw the picture up and say, do this. So you have always this, and then of course you can put some of your ideas in his ideas, but it will work better, it will be more involved, then the film will be better. Well, voilà, that was my points. So now